next story, Inventing Anna, her real boyfriend who fled to Dubai is actually known as Hunter Lee Soik. Now, a lot of you have seen the Netflix show Inventing Anna, like Casey and like me. And let's admit it, you all have tried to mimic her accent.
We did it on the show.
Casey tried. And she kind of got there. She got there.
Although we did it on the show, failed miserably. What I do love is all of the videos going viral now of like cues and stuff. And it's, I do not have time for this. I do not have time. She's so good. It's iconic. We will never, ever not hear that voice in our head again. It's so good. Whenever you're in a queue, you're just going to hear someone.
I wonder how do people get these unique accents and tangs and just don't get it. Don't get it. Because like usually you pick up like accents from those who are around you, right?
Well, no. So she grew up, correct me if I'm wrong, Russia, and then moved to Germany when she was about 8 and did her schooling there. And so I don't think she picked up an accent. I just think
it's like the way she speaks, her pitch, her tone.
Yeah, I think it would just be someone who probably her first language probably wasn't. Oh, it actually was English. She has an accent. Like I have an accent. Like you'll meet everyone has an accent. That you're just
a tang, yeah, I guess.
Like if Ireland is an amazing pot of accents, and I love them so much. Like I live in Waterford, and we say like bye, but then like down the road, people in Cork are like Cork. They're very soon they say I'm from Cork, and they're very very strong accents. But then when you go west, get your COVID test out in the west of the country, and then you go. The whole country has these. Sorry for that. The whole country has these amazing accents, but we're like, it's only what 6 hours from north to south and 4 or 5 hours from east to west, but we still have so many accents in one place. It's same with England, same everywhere, I'm sure.
Okay, so now if a person from the west who calls it west, now if he moves
out west,
out west, he moves to Dubai, would he still be having those like linguistic things?
I think it totally depends.
Adapt to say west?
I think it totally depends. I think that you can lose part of your accent. So I've been here 8 years.
Yeah.
And I was teaching kids for the first couple of years who didn't speak, they all didn't always start with great English. So I had to be more careful of how I spoke. So I think you could lose, but you'll always keep your accent. Like people usually are able to place where you're from. What do you guys think?
I feel like for me, my accent adapts.
It can adopt, but I don't think you wouldn't lose your entire, well, nearly maybe. I think it depends on how strong it is. It's like if you come from like the deep depths of Kerry, which is a very, very strong accent in Ireland, and you came here for a couple of years, you wouldn't lose all of it. You might try and adapt so people can understand you better sometimes.
Yeah. Have you seen Modern Family?
Of course.
Like Sofia Vergara always complains of this. She's like, I'm losing my accent, so now I have to put on even a thicker accent on the show to make it look like I'm not losing it. But like in real life, she's losing her Spanish Latino accent because she's spending so much time in America. And I'm like, I feel that. I so feel that.
Her accent is just phenomenal. I love it. It's also her trademark in that show for sure. Go again.
No. Okay, guys. Now, if you're planning on proceeding with this article, if we have this article up on our Lovin Dubai website where we talk about the story Inventing Anna and her boyfriend. And of course, there are lots of spoilers even right now. Now, Inventing
Anna. Turn away if you haven't watched it because it's a really, really good show.
I haven't seen it. But I love spoilers, so this is for me. Now, Inventing Anna is based on a true story of alleged German socialite scammer Anna Sorokin, and the show was created by Shonda Rhimes. Now, 31-year-old Russian is still behind bars for scamming people out of hundreds of thousands of dollars in Manhattan, New York City. And for 2 years now in New York City, she was dating a Chase Sivrosky, and his actual identity has been revealed by Cosmopolitan magazine and the New York Post. And apparently Anna's boyfriend Chase fled to Dubai and worked for the sheikh. But of course, this is something that was said on the show, and we don't know if that's the reality behind it. And of course, disclaimer, it is the real boyfriend is being said to be Hunter Lee, and he has no connection with the accused or any of her wrongdoings, nor any legal charges pressed against her whatsoever.
So her rumored boyfriend is a South Korean American businessman, and the Netflix show is largely based on the article written by journalist Jessica Presler, who is also the producer of the show. So it's very much tied in. In the show, when the journalist finally got hold of Chase, it cuts to him sitting in a living room overlooking the Dubai skyline. He just said he works for the sheikh and it's top secret stuff. So just like in the show, he was promoting his app. but instead of calling it Wake, it's called Shadow, which he did promote in Dubai 5 years ago. So it kind of gives the background on that.
Now, according to his LinkedIn profile, Hunter spent the past 5 years working with the government of Dubai, building deep tech ecosystems and shaping tech regulation and policy. And he also once worked as a creative consultant for Jay-Z and Kanye West, modeled for a Coca-Cola commercial, and collaborated with Stella McCartney and Vans. So we saw his LinkedIn right before the show, and you said it's very impressive, just like the whole.
Yeah, it's a whole rigmarole, and it's after. You know what this is amazing is. Watching shows and then doing a deep dive into the trying to find the factual behind the show, because what's interesting about this show is at the beginning of it they say all of this is true. At the beginning of every show they have a tagline and they say all of this is true except for the
parts that aren't,
except for the parts that aren't. So every show you watch you have to take with a pinch of salt. You can't expect it all to be true. So what always happens if I get obsessed with the show is like I'll jump on to LinkedIn, I'll jump onto Instagram and see what they're doing, especially with Anna Sorokin. So in this case the internet is having a field day trying to find more and more about the people involved in the show, and it turns out that Hunter Lee is in fact in Dubai. However, his LinkedIn is very impressive in terms of who he's worked with, the companies he's worked with and what he's up to. So if you want to do that deep dive yourself, you know where to go.
Of course. Oh my God, couldn't have said better. And he did a TED talk and all of that. So it is interesting. But yeah, I mean, not just LinkedIn. You go on Google, YouTube, like do the full search and try to like do your own research into the whatever you see. If it's based on true life events.
I'm a terror for doing it for Real Housewives.
Oh,
I would go. I know. I would go down into like. So the thing is, like, Real Housewives is like. I was watching the Beverly Hills one. It's 9 seasons long.
Yeah.
But I only started like recently. But then I'm back in season 1, finding out that like, oh, there's still not. And it made me so sad because you'd start in the season 1 and like so many of the couples have broken up, and you're like, oh no. But you would.
I'm vouching for you.
You would all, yeah, because you would like the couple, but you follow them on, and then you go into like all the gossipy rags in the States that are talking about them, and
that's insane.
I need to get a hobby.
I wonder what happened to the Dubai house of Real Housewives, because it was supposed to come out in Feb.
It's
March.
Still coming.
It's coming, but like, what is the delay all about?
What I thought with the Dubai Housewives was that we would see filming happening. Like you would see people talk about it, but there has been like
nothing. Like nothing. It was just.
Well, there's been some car chases that we've promoted in downtown, but I don't think that's Real Housewives, unless they've really upped their drama element. I don't think so.
Car chases. Imagine the wives just chasing each other in Bentleys.
Oh. Throwing handbags.
Oh, that is so Dubai.
Not the Birkin. Let's jump into our next story. We're talking about my